Okay, in this video we're going to do an unboxing of the latest version of Google TV. And this one's made by Vizio and it's called the Vizio Co-Star. So let's get to it. So I pre-ordered this device and I just got it this week and I'm pretty excited to try it out because on paper this is the Google TV device to own. Prior to this I used to say that the Logitech Review with Google TV was the Google device to own, but that device is no longer supported and no longer manufactured. You can get a hold of a used version on eBay or possibly Amazon through their sources there, but it's not made anymore by Logitech and they're not updating it anymore. But this device is brand new and it's very affordable. It's $99.99, so basically the same price as the Logitech Review when it was reduced. The difference between this Google TV and the original Sony Google TV and the Logitech Review is that this device is an ARM-based system. Now, if you don't know what ARM is, it's basically the chip or CPU structure in mobile phones. So basically you have a mobile processor in this, whereas the original two Google TV devices you were running off of an Intel Atom processor. So it'll be interesting to see the performance of this device, but ARM processors are pretty capable these days, so I don't think we're going to be dealing with any lag compared to the previous Google TV devices. The only other thing to note on this device is that it is a skinned version of Google TV. And from what I understand, the skinned version from Vizio seems a little bit more functional than does the actual stock version of Android. And that's something you'll never hear me say as it pertains to tablets and phones. But we'll get to the user interface in my next video. In this video, we're just going to unbox this device here. Let's take a quick tour around the box here. You have your Vizio branding. It says, "Watch this." Some more Vizio branding. On the bottom, it shows you that it's an HDMI device and that it's fragile. So let's break out my trusty cutter here and cut the seal and open this thing up. Alright, first thing you see is a quick start guide up top here. A little foam attached to the cardboard up top. And below this you see the device itself. Now this Google TV is the smallest version of Google TV available right now. And it's approximately the same size as a Netgear Neo TV, although it's a little bit thicker. Let's put that to the side. And let's see what else is in the box here. Here's the remote. Now it's kind of a chunky remote, but there's a reason for that. It's a two-sided remote. You have your remote functions with touch on the front, and on the back you have your full QWERTY keyboard. We'll look at that in 1 second. Let's just empty out the box here. And here is the wall adapter, the power adapter. And I think that's pretty much everything in the box. So let's put all this back in and just focus on the device itself. It's got a lot of plastic all over it, but on the back here it shows you step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is connect cable or satellite box, and then step 2 is to connect to the TV. And it tells you to follow the quick start guide. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty much the same setup as you would have on any Google TV device. So it's not any news to me, but this is nice to have just in case you're not familiar. Let's peel all of this off here, and we can take a look inside and see what the connectors are here. Now you have one USB connector here. You have an HDMI pass-through on this device. So generally the way you would set it up is you would have an HDMI out from your cable box, put it in through this device, and then out to your television set. So basically if you want to manipulate live TV with this device, then you do need a cable box with HDMI capabilities on it. I don't have that, so I was never able to use the television capabilities on Google TV. I do use it for the streaming services that you can get on it though. And one thing to note, this device does not come with an HDMI cord as you saw as I unboxed it. So you're going to need to bring your own. Here you have your Ethernet connector and then your power connector here. Let's pull off all this plastic here and take a look at what the box itself looks like. And it looks like it's a shiny black plastic here. Let's peel all this off. Alright, let's grab the plastic on the top here. Peel that off. And as I mentioned, it's a shiny black plastic. You have some silver plastic around the top here, and you have a trench in here which allows for venting. Up top here you have your Vizio branding in sort of a silver plastic up top, and of course you have your matte plastic back here. Nice little device. It's heavier than you would see in a, let's say, a Roku device or an Apple TV. But that's because it actually does a little bit more than those devices do. On the bottom you have 4 little feet. It looks like you have a reset button down here, and you also have some venting all the way around it. So that's the box itself. Let's take a look at the remote here. And let's pull it out of the bag. And it has some plastic on here, so let's pull that off. Really not a problem to have a chunky remote like this, but you should just be aware that that's what you're dealing with. Now the front of the remote has all of your function keys here. You have a directional with an OK in the center. You have your volume control, you have your channel control, you have a Vizio button in the center, you have a back button, you have a menu button. And then here is a touch area. So this is actually a touch sensitive area where you can move a mouse around on the television set. Now that's a nice solution to the mouse on the Google TV. On the original Sony Google TV, you sort of had this optical mouse, which I thought was inferior to the Logitech Reviews version, which was basically just a wireless keyboard with an area here like this that was a touch-sensitive area to control your mouse. This condenses it further into a one-handed remote, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a welcome addition. Now down here you have a mute button, your color buttons, which are your red, green, yellow, and blue buttons, and then you have a function button here which jumps back about 5 seconds on your video playing. You have your number keys down here, and a quick key and a dash key. I really don't know what those do right now, but we'll check those out at a later date. Up here in the touch section on the sides, you have these little raised areas here which will allow you to, in the dark, find where you're at on this touch panel here, so you can actually press these other buttons here, which is a picture-in-picture button in the upper left-hand corner, a search button in the upper right-hand corner, a live TV button in the lower left-hand corner, and a guide button on the lower right-hand corner. Up top here you have your play controls: rewind, pause, play, fast forward, list, record, stop, and info. You have an input button, a power TV button, and a power button for the Google TV device. Then up top here you might notice you have an Amazon On Demand button here, a Netflix button, and an MGO button. I don't really know what MGO is at this point, but I'll check it out when I actually fire up this device. Now I believe that this is a Bluetooth remote, so you're not going to have to be worrying about any IR or line of sight for this device. So that's a nice addition. On the back of the remote you have a full QWERTY keyboard, which is really nice. You have some directional buttons on the left hand side here, and then you have X, Y, A, and B on the right hand side. As you can see, like I said, it is a thick remote and mostly made out of a glossy black plastic, although you do have some gray matte plastic on the keyboard side with some black plastic here on the face of the keyboard. And the buttons have a nice click to them, and the buttons are all rubber. On the bottom of the remote here you have some Vizio branding, and that's actually the battery tray. So you just hook in your fingernail here and pull this out, and it accepts 2 AA batteries. On the top of the remote you have nothing. And one thing I did overlook in the unboxing is that it does include 2 AA batteries with it. So that's nice, and they're actually Vizio branded. And let's open these up here and get them installed into the remote. There we go. And just slot the tray back in. And we're ready to go. So that's the Vizio Co-Star, the brand new version of Google TV on the market. Costs $99.99, and on paper it seems like the Google TV device to own. Join me in my next video when I actually fire this device up for the first time and take you through the device walkthrough. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And if you want to help out my channel, give me a thumbs up or favorite this video. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.